From not long after Jools was born, it was clear that he possessed a remarkable talent that set him apart from his feline peers. He could sing like an angel, dance with grace and precision, act with convincing emotion, and even play the piano with a level of virtuosity that left audiences in awe. His talents were a well-kept secret in his small town until one day when a talent scout happened to catch one of his impromptu performances. The scout, an agent for a rising pop band called Eclipse, couldn't believe his eyes and ears when he witnessed Jools' incredible abilities. Immediately, he approached Jools' owner, a kind-hearted woman named Nina, with a proposition that would change their lives. "Your cat has the potential to be a superstar," the agent declared, offering Jools the opportunity to audition for Eclipse. Nina was initially hesitant, but realized that this could be a chance for Jools to live a life that suited his extraordinary talents. She agreed to let Jools audition for Eclipse. The audition was nerve-wracking, but Jools' talent shone brighter than ever. His voice soared, his dance moves were impeccable, his acting was so convincing that the judges were moved to tears, and he played the piano as if he had been born with it. Eclipse was mesmerized, and Jools was offered a contract on the spot. Ecstatic and starry-eyed, Jools signed the contract without a second thought. Little did he know that it came with a grueling schedule that would push him to the limits of his physical and mental endurance. He was required to practice for hours on end, often well into the night, with little time for rest or relaxation. The pressure to maintain his impeccable performances was immense. Jools' life became a whirlwind of rehearsals, media appearances, and performances. He hardly had time to rest or see his mother Nina, who was often relegated to the sidelines. The demands of the industry were unforgiving, and Jools' once joyful demeanor began to wane. His typical day started before sunrise. He would wake up in his luxurious but sparsely decorated apartment, which he rarely had the chance to enjoy. Breakfast, when he managed to eat it, was a rushed affair, usually consisting of a few bites of toast or a bowl of cereal. From there, he would head straight to the rehearsal studio, where his rigorous training regimen would begin. Rehearsals often lasted for hours on end, with short breaks that barely allowed him to catch his breath. Whether it was perfecting his dance moves, honing his vocal techniques, or fine-tuning his piano skills, there was always something that demanded his attention. Lunch was a hurried affair, with a quick meal grabbed on the go between rehearsals. The pressure to maintain a flawless appearance meant that he often skipped meals altogether, leading to further physical and emotional stress. Afternoons were filled with interviews, photo shoots, and promotional events. Evenings were reserved for more rehearsals or performances. Eclipse was on a tight schedule, with concerts, TV appearances, and recording sessions that left little room for respite. By the time Jools returned to his apartment, it was often well past midnight. His body was physically drained, but his mind raced with anxiety about the next day's demands. The isolation and loneliness he felt only deepened his emotional struggles. Jools yearned for the comfort of Nina's presence and the familiar surroundings of his hometown, but he knew that his commitment to Eclipse required him to persevere. He felt trapped, unable to escape the relentless demands of his newfound fame. Jools was constantly in the spotlight, expected to maintain a cheerful and charismatic demeanor regardless of how exhausted he felt. The constant scrutiny from the media and fans took a toll on his mental health, eroding his sense of privacy and peace. Social media comments had a profound impact on Jools' mental health, contributing significantly to his decline. While social media can be a powerful tool for connecting with fans and sharing one's artistry, it can also be a double-edged sword, especially for those in the spotlight like Jools. His talent garnered him a significant following on social media platforms. However, fans and critics alike dissected his every performance, appearance, and personal life. This continuous scrutiny made him feel like he was always under a microscope, leading to heightened anxiety and self-doubt. Not everyone on social media is kind or supportive. Jools encountered a barrage of negative comments, criticism, and even hateful messages. These hurtful remarks chipped away at his self-esteem, causing him to question his worth and abilities. Jools felt immense pressure to maintain a flawless image, both in terms of his talent and his appearance. This pressure to be picture perfect at all times led to anxiety about his public image, further exacerbating his mental health struggles. Social media provides a platform for constant comparison, and Jools found himself comparing his success, talent, and lifestyle to others in the industry. This kind of comparison led to feelings of inadequacy and intensified imposter syndrome. As Jools' popularity grew, his privacy dwindled. Fans and paparazzi would often invade his personal space, making it challenging for him to find moments of peace and solitude, leading to feelings of helplessness. Paradoxically, despite having a massive online following, Jools felt increasingly isolated. The online world can be superficial, and the pressure to maintain a certain image led to a sense of loneliness and disconnection from genuine human connection. Jools, like many individuals in the public eye, started to define his self-worth based on the reactions and comments of strangers online, which is a dangerous cycle for mental health. Underneath the dazzling exterior of Jools' performances, a storm was brewing. He began to struggle with anxiety and depression, feelings he kept hidden from everyone, including Nina. To cope, he turned to alcohol, seeking solace in the temporary numbness it provided. As time passed, Jools' performances started to suffer. His singing lost its angelic quality, his dancing became erratic, and he struggled to maintain the emotional depth in his acting. Eclipse, worried about the impact on their reputation, confronted Jools about his deteriorating condition. They gave him an ultimatum: get his act together or be fired. The ultimatum shook Jools to his core. He knew that he was spiraling out of control, but he was terrified of losing the one thing he had always wanted: a chance to share his extraordinary talent with the world. Determined to salvage his career, he made the difficult decision to seek help. With the support of Nina, Jools started attending therapy sessions to address his mental health issues and began the arduous journey of sobriety. It was a painful process, and there were many setbacks along the way. But he was determined to overcome his demons and regain his former glory. Slowly but surely, Jools began to heal. He poured his heart and soul into his recovery and his craft. With the help of a dedicated support team, he rebuilt his voice, his dance skills, and his emotional resilience. It was a grueling process, but Jools was determined to prove himself to Eclipse and, more importantly, to himself. Months passed, and the day of reckoning arrived. Jools stood on the stage with a renewed sense of purpose and a deep appreciation for the gift of his talents. As he performed, it was clear that he had emerged from the darkness stronger and more resilient than ever. His voice soared once again, his dance moves were impeccable, and his acting was infused with a depth of emotion that moved the audience to tears. Eclipse watched in awe as Jools delivered a performance that surpassed even his previous brilliance. The ultimatum had transformed him into a true artist, one who had faced his demons and emerged victorious. The band members were moved by Jools' journey and realized that they had not only a talented cat but also a friend they deeply cared about. After the performance, Eclipse gathered around Jools, and the band's leader Brian spoke earnestly. "Jools, we've seen your incredible talent, but more importantly, we've seen your strength and determination. We're not just a band, we're a family. We want you to know that we're here to support you, always." Tears welled up in Jools' eyes as he felt a sense of belonging and acceptance he had never experienced before. With renewed purpose and a newfound sense of camaraderie, Jools and Eclipse embarked on a new chapter in their journey together. Jools' story became an inspiration to many, as to the power of resilience and the importance of seeking help when faced with mental health challenges. He continued to sing, dance, act, and play the piano, not as a means of escaping his struggles but as a way to express his triumph over them. And so, Jools the talented cat, who had once been on the brink of losing it all, found not only success but also a family that cherished him for who he was, a remarkable artist with a heart of gold.